First of all, something to be very, very careful about. This is financial fluctuations. Okay. It's kind of like a situation where we're not really careful about what's coming in, what's coming out. And I do feel that when it comes to your spending, excuse me, so whatever you're making versus whatever is leaving your hands. So I do feel some of you need to be a little bit careful and need to budget and need to financially manage things a little bit, just be less lenient and lax with your income. Okay. Overall, I feel like this card also heavily indicates with travel from place to place, losing your sense of time, traveling across different time zones, feeling a little bit physically kind of off kilter. And I'm also sensing as well, this energy indicates like, it's like time confusion, feeling a little bit disoriented, feeling kind of like a lot of things are happening around you and you feel like you don't have control over things. Okay. The financial sector, it actually looks very good. This is indicative of a financial windfall coming your way. Getting funding for a project, getting funding for a proposal, getting funding for a research project, and having a lot of people on board that are supporting you, that are kind of like in alignment with what you're trying to do. They're going to help you get there. But more than anything, they're offering financial assistance in order for you to get where you need to go. If you are kind of thinking like, I don't know if I should solicit, people within my family, I'm going to say, don't do it. Step outside the family. Okay. So don't approach people that you know. I feel that you're going to need to approach actual financial institutions, bigger companies, bigger organizations in order to get things moving. I do sense for many of you, you're heavily thinking about like transitioning into a new home. This is a house move here. People coming in, people leaving your current household, or you are, if you have like spare rooms, you are putting people into your house, like doing it out of the goodness of your heart, or providing a couch for a friend who's distressed to sleep on, or providing space for a family member to sleep or to temporarily stay with you. But I feel like this is a gesture of goodwill that's coming to you, and it's also going to be returned to you. Okay. What I'm feeling is, if you're thinking about buying a house, there is a sense here about, needing to fix something. So possibly your credit, possibly something that, that signifies whether or not you are, a low risk or a high risk investor, or a low risk or a high risk lender. And then, fixing that first in order for you to be able to get the financial windfall, or to get the support from a financial institution. If you are thinking about purchasing property or expanding property, or even, buying up multiple properties so that you can rent them out. Okay. There's a lot of ways that this energy can go. But what I feel is finances from your end alone is not enough. And you're going to have to get more people involved, more people on board. You're going to have to be extra persuasive in order to let them know. You have to persuade people. You have to be in the limelight, and you're going to have to tell people, this is the way to go. If you go into business with me, or if you invest in me, this is everything that you're getting back. Just make sure you don't fluff things up. Make sure you don't inflate your numbers, because like I mentioned before, that Saturn transit, it is heavily laden with karma. If we do things in an honorable way, we're going to reap tremendous benefits. If on the other hand, if we do things in a very unscrupulous way, we're going to feel the gravity of that, those choices. Okay. So I want you to be very careful. This is a card overall about self-inflation. Okay. It's lying directly on top of you. And what it basically means is that it's really asking you to look at, what's going on with your finances? Are you making enough? Are you living within your means, or are you being a little bit extravagant, towards your friends just to save face, towards family just to save face, towards in-laws just to save face? So you want to really think about, how am I presenting myself? Is it true to who I am? And also, is it true to my means? I feel like it's really important for you. You're not, like a unscrupulous sign, but I do feel a lot of the times reputation, status, and social expectations actually mean a lot to you. And so I feel like, you feel like you have to present yourself in a specific light in order to be liked, in order to be taken seriously, in order to fit in. That's what it feels like. And so aim to be more authentic, aim to be more true to you, because at the end of the day, living this shallow life, I don't feel that it's going to mean much to you. Okay. I don't feel like it's going to bring you that satisfaction, and whatever mask or facade that you put on, it's going to wear off by the end of the day, and it's going to feel very empty and tiring. So I feel some of you are dealing with that concept as well. It's like overspending to impress, and then finding out that, you might be in the red financially. So I don't want you to, deal with that. Okay. Though those decisions are not, are not Capricornian in nature. So I want you to really think about what's really important to you. Impressing these people that you're never going to see again, impressing somebody that you're going on a date with that might or might not like you. And if they like you for all those superficial material reasons, they might not be there for you long term when you need them. So you want to really think about, where am I headed? What do I value? What's really important to me? And what am I willing or not willing to compromise on? So that's very crucial, Capricorns. I see like this energy of people who are very glamorous, reputation, focus. And I feel like they talk about things that just doesn't really interest you. And so I see you flitting from one group to the next, trying to find like-minded people, but it's a little bit challenging. And that's okay. That's okay. We don't have to, have the same interests to have kind of like human connections with another person. You don't have to be the same as them. You don't have to be a replica of them. You don't have to emulate them in order to fit in. Okay. So don't do that. Don't sell yourself short. We have an air sign here. So this is an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. This is shown up in the reverse position. So I feel like you're going to be heavily dealing with this person. They seem to me to be a little bit more on the childish end. Okay. So they can be very, I want to say, it's like they shoot first, ask questions later. They might say things that are very opinionated. They might say things that can tend to be a little bit more hurtful, but they don't really understand the gravity of their actions or their words. They don't really understand how they are being perceived. They just kind of shoot off at the hips and just, assume everyone is on the same page as them. So when it comes to finances, there might be some financial entanglements that you have with this person. So air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising, there might be some financial entanglements involved with this air sign where you're not really sure where you stand with them, or whenever they're around you, it just feels like their energy is so kinetic that they knock you off kilter. For some of you, it's a family member. For others, a coworker. And then for others, I feel like it's somebody that I feel like it's work related, finance related. You're linked up financially, or you're linked up with like either a coworker or somebody around you where you're sharing resources with. And I feel like they're constantly, it's like they're very kinetic. Their energy is very, it's like they zoom in and then they zoom out. And then whenever they zoom in, it kind of catches you off guard. And you find yourself like, do I like this energy? Do I like this person? Or do I not like this person? And so you're kind of thrown off kilter in this person's presence. Air signs are highly intelligent. Okay. They live in their head, so they can say a lot of things that are a little bit blunt. Air signs are also, they overwhelm people because they ask a lot of questions. So if you feel overwhelmed, the best way to say is, excuse me, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. And, most likely they're going to ask you why and why. but you want to tell them, you're overwhelming me a little bit. Let's resume this conversation at a later time. And especially, if it's your children, you need to draw those boundaries, make it very clear that I'm a little bit overwhelmed by you right now. You're asking too many questions. So I'm just going to go over there. You stay here, and then I'll come back when I'm not as overwhelmed. So I feel like this is somebody that's like very destabilizing to be around. It can feel the energy around them is so kinetic. And as an earth sign, you're not used to it. So you're going to be kind of feeling very wobbly mentally. And I also feel physically this month. Okay. They're too energetic for you. They're too high strung. The aura around them is too hyper. Okay. Once again, the work situation, great communication coming through, a lot of projects, like a lot of collaborations with other people. A lot of like compromise, I feel is being done. And I feel that you are compromising because you want to maintain harmony and peace. You're not doing it because you feel like, oh, other people are right. I feel like you're kind of biting your tongue, not telling people that's not the best way to do it, or, you're wrong. What I know is this. I feel like you're not in a position where you want to show off, or you don't want to be the one to kind of throw the wrench in the works, but you know that something is off, but you're going along with the energy. You're going to compromise. You're going to, go along with it, especially if it's superiors, and especially if it's somebody that you feel has more expertise. So you're just going to go along with the projects. There's great communication, great learning experiences. I also feel for students as well, being congratulated, working closely with either an instructor, a professor, a teacher. They're helping you work on something extensive, like a big project. And I also feel, other people in collaborative learning environments as well, working on a very, very big research project where there's a lot of information sharing. There's a lot of best practices. There's a lot of, it seems like it's a very, very good dynamic, environment where people are not petty or catty when it comes to intellectual property theft. So they're willing to collaborate. They're willing to share. I do feel people moving away for seminars, for training, for, I want to say, they say like coding. So I don't know if you're taking a class on coding or you're learning how to code. You're learning how to systematically arrange data to fit some type of a standardized format. Okay, so that's coming in. Interesting. So, well, the work situation, if for the past few months you're trying to figure out like, am I still happy here? Am I gonna be content here moving forward? There might have been a lot of struggles and strife with the people in your environment, but also clients and, demands of the work itself. I feel like it started to clear up. Okay. So you're not fighting yourself over this work environment anymore. You're still doing it with a happy face, but I feel like you're thinking long term. Are there opportunities for me to climb? Are there opportunities for me to grow? Should I stay in it, or is this going to be it? Or am I, best looking further afield? I feel that it's really important for you to get yourself in a place right now for the next 3 months at least. It's really important for you to like work where there's opportunities to grow, mainly because it lasts for about 3 years and it will, stabilize you. So you're not going to have opportunities to travel as much. And so I feel like wherever you start right now, you're going to work your way up. So you want to make sure you're in an environment where you're allowed to grow. You're in an environment where there are other positions that you can jump to. Okay. Because I feel like the next 3 years would be very, very crucial. They're majorly important, and they're going to teach you a lot more about discipline, hard work, perseverance, making, it's almost like reforming your identity. It's like reforming your identity. Where some of you might have thought like, oh, I'm on top of the world. I can do no wrong. Well, You're not going to be on top of the world. You're going to have to cater to other people. And then likewise, some of you are just like, starting out learning and feeling like, oh, I don't have the proper skills, the proper training. I don't feel like I can do this work. Well, you're going to be learning on the job, and it's going to hit you, it's going to be very fast, but it's a collaborative environment. So for those thinking about returning to school, the placement is very, very good for rote learning. If you have to remember a lot of technical information, the placement is also very good for that. That Saturn placement is going to teach you so much about, refining your thinking very critically. And also it's going to help you retain information. Granted, you have to be disciplined and diligent with your studies, but I feel like students, this is a very good placement. So, we're ending up here with the Justice card. The Justice card basically indicates the balance in the universe. Whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. And however you behave is what you're going to get in terms of rewards, okay? So this is a card that is tremendously about free will. How are you selling yourself short? How are you not selling yourself short? How are you representing yourself? And, what's really important to you? Whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. So if you want that job, you need to work hard at it. If you want to pass those courses, you can't spend your time, dilly-dallying. You need to get yourself very disciplined. You need to get yourself very grounded. And you need to stop behaving like this, where you're oscillating between, do I really want this or do I not want this? So, that indecisive Libran energy, it's not really going to cut it anymore. I feel like you need to be a lot more direct with communication, direct with the decisions that you make. You need to be very clear. You need to be very concise. And I also feel this element about, Capricorns learning to multitask. Okay. I feel like your energy, once it's directed into a specific venue, you do it really well. Multitasking might not be your forte. So I feel like the next wave of change is all about making you a lot more nimble, a lot more agile, a lot less resistant to change. And it's going to make you move a lot faster.